Afternoon, Joe here at Woolly Coach. Let's see if we can get this glare gone a little bit. Pull my net over because I'm sat right by the window. Curtain's trapped in the flaming window. Of course it is. Will that help any? I don't think it does. Oh well, I'll be fine. So today, what am I doing? I'm doing a bit of spinning. I've got these two bobbins that were supposed to be on the shop by now, that I needed to ply up. So that's all I'm doing today. Is a bit of spinning and having a natter with you guys. Fresh cup of coffee. So do you know what? I need to get my boots off. They're too clumpy for sitting in while I'm spinning. Where can I put them? I'll fall over them later if I chuck them the other side. Right, hold on a minute. Bear with me a second. This is so unladylike. I can't lift my leg up any higher than this. So getting anything off my right leg is a nightmare. Right, yeah, so I'm sitting doing a bit of spinning. I have got, let me see if I can move you around a little bit. Oh, I am using my Fantasia spinning wheel, but I need you to be able to see me while I'm talking. There we go. Sorted all my books out. I've had a good tidy around in here today. You'll see that I'm positioned a little bit different than usual. That light's really bad, isn't it? Does it do any difference? It's the glare of that winter sun. Oh, it'll have to do. It'll have to do. I look like I've got a halo on me. So yeah, so I just want it wrong way. I just want to get this wool plied up. So I'll sit and have a natter with you. I pulled out the book that I was talking about on my video last week. So it's sat up there, so I popped downstairs and got it. So I'll tell you a little bit about this book, and it's about it's called LOPAPEYSA, okay, and it's by Joan of the Dark and Toni Carr. Hi all, remembered and my phone pinged to let you know that I was here. Great. And the photography is done by Kyle Cassidy. It's a knitting book, but also delves into the history of Iceland, and traditional style sort of influence patterns, and the history about Icelandic wool. Hi Ria. So yeah, so I'll pop it open in a minute and I'll have a little chat with you about it, because it's a really, really interesting book. But also the fact that it has knitting patterns in it as well. So it's a travel guide with maps and different tourist places that you might want to go and have a look at if you ever got up to Iceland. But also, as I say, it gives you a little bit of the history and the resurgence in Icelandic knitting, because they don't knit with a 2-ply wool like we do. They knit with what we would refer to like a noodle yarn, a thick single yarn, if I remember rightly, they use both the undercoat and the outer coat of the Icelandic wool, because they've got two layers of fleece. So they've got the coarser on, they've got a softer one on the inside. So I'll pull it out in a bit and I'll talk to you about it. It's quite interesting, really. I think I've managed to read the first 2 or 3 chapters of the book. But you think, read it, it's a knitting book, yeah. But it's really, really interesting about this. You need to order it to get it. It's spelt LOPAPEYSA, LOPAPEYSA. The couple that wrote this book actually have another book that they wrote a couple of years ago together, and in the designs in the book, it's all like I think it's Star Wars and Space Invaders and that sort of thing, knitting patterns in it. So you can actually buy that book off that shop that we won't mention. I've never seen it in any other bookshops as such. There's Phil come back in from do his bloody Pokemon. What's he like? Popped out to go and do his Pokemon. So yeah, they've done another bit before that you can get online, but I've not ordered that yet because I haven't even had a chance to do this one yet. I did have the wool. I was saving my Como for doing it, but haven't used the Como for wool dyes over the last couple of weeks. My private stash I've had to use just so I could keep my back stock going. Yeah, so it's just madness. madness. Just to let you know as well on here, I'm doing a discount code that you can find on my Instagram. I'm doing it from Thursday to Sunday evening. So there'll be a discount code for 15% off. There is a discount code out at the moment for my subscribers that they could use to get 20% off. That was sent out in an email letter the other week there. But I think I think it's the rest of this week they've got to get that used. So I thought, well, I'll do one for social media and do it for 15%, which is a lot of money. It's a lot to get taken off. So yeah, just sitting and getting this done. So I've got some new items out on the website as well if you want to pop over and have a look. I've done these weave sets with Turkish spindles. They're a 30 gram weight, and they come with a bat and a hand sewn bag. The bat's about 130 grams or just over. And you get a 1 yard niddy noddy. There's exact same print off colourway to the Turkish spindle. So they're on the website as ideal gifts for yourself or for somebody else. And I think if they go well, I've already sold 3 just in the last couple of days. So if they go well, I think they might end up being a permanent addition to the website. I do have a weave frame set alternative as well. But I've still got 2 of the originals that I put on the website. They're still on there. I don't expect them to go, to be fair, because most of my customers are proper weavers, unless they've been bought for Christmas gifts, or for Liz, whose mum's bought her one for Christmas, which she should be getting in the post any day now anyway. So yeah, what have you guys been up to? What have you been doing, Ria? Have you got anything planned, or have you been doing stuff at home and learning new crafts? I'm going to learn something. I'm going to make, I've left my bag downstairs. I'm going to make a quilted, have you got a minute? No, I haven't got a minute, and I can't answer you back. Have you got a minute, Joe? Can you come round? No, I can't. I'm in the house doing my live chat. Go away. Yeah, so what was I saying then? I forgot. I've completely lost my train of thought. Not hard to do these days, ladies, honestly. So yeah, so these sets, they're marked a little bit lower in price than my Fluff Rescues, but they've got the same quantity. I'm just knitting a cowl for my hubby with a yarn from a Luxury Yarns. Oh, cool. I've brought my knitting in to show you today, my shawl that seems to be taking me forever to knit. But it's been weird couple of months. I feel like changing jobs over. So I've been like sort of a bit absent-minded. And moving over website platforms as well, that's taken a lot of my brain exercise. And then Phil ended up with a detached retina and having to have emergency surgery 3.5 weeks ago. So yeah, it's been a lot been going on, and it started. So I ended up gutting this room out yesterday, because as I say, you can see my books on the shelf now. My sewing machine's back down where she belongs on the bottom shelf. The 3D printer's sitting around this corner, so I've got my workspace back again, because I was sewing up my bags, right? And I felt like I was like this with the sewing machine on the tabletop, that I couldn't actually, I had no arm space to make a mess as you do when you're working. So it was like getting beyond a joke. Hi, Anne. So yeah, so I've had a really good tidy around. The sofa that used to sit up against this window has now been turned into a day bed for the dogs, with a duvet underneath it, with a bed sheet on top of it, one that's too small for our bed. So now they've got their own day bed. I know, pampered pooches. But my yarn box, my hand-dyed yarns, are down in that far corner in a big grey box, but I can easily get to it. And my loom's been moved over to that side of the room, and I've just adjusted my bottom shelves so I could get into it, like for pulling it out. So it's actually giving the illusion of having more floor space. There isn't. I've still got, if anything, I've ended up with less floor space because the sofa bed's down. But then if I have the back up on the sofa bed, I still have space missing off the room because of the way it sits. It's mad. So yeah, so it's the illusion of more space, but it's just utilising the little space that I have got, because it is only a large double bedroom room. It's the length of my house. It's Andrew at the door now. I'm busy. He'd be wondering why I'm not answering him. Tell him I'm on my live. God, can people not take a hint? I don't go knocking on his door if I can't get to, if I don't get an answer after half an hour. Oh dear. Yeah, so there we go. I lose my train of thought again. So yeah, I've moved things around a little bit. I can now sit and do my spinning and not feel like I'm blocking access in and out of the room, which is making the difference. Yeah. So I've been a busy little bee. I've been a little bit absent-minded. My spelling's gone to pot. I need new glasses. I just can't afford the prescriptions. Financially, like the rest of the world, struggling. And I'm just trying to keep happy along it all and keep on laughing. Though I do have to say thank you, people that have actually placed orders this week. You've allowed me to buy a bag of coal to keep my fire going for another fortnight. I know it sounds like simple things. Why don't you just turn your central heating on? There's a reason. Okay, so when we were having the carpet fitted last year, our central heating is on a Wi-Fi controlled system, and there is a plug plug receiver that would sit in the plug socket out in the hallway. Okay, when the carpet fitters came last year to do the stair and landing carpet, that plug went missing. Now, to be honest, we've lived in this house 5 years and we've had the coal wood burning stove 5 years, okay? And we've never ever, and I swear, hand on my heart, never had the central heating on in this house. We don't need it. The wood burning coal and the coal stove keeps the house at roughly 19 degrees, okay? Which is more than warm enough, and we like it cool upstairs. When you go to sleep, don't like a hot house. And with it being a 130 odd year old house, brick house, if you central heating on, you end up with really bad damp. But we've found that we've not had any problems like that with the coal fire. So anyway, last year, when the carpet fitters came, somehow the plug for the Wi-Fi that controls the thermostat for turning the central heating on if we needed it went missing, which we didn't notice until we had a really, really bad cold spell back at the end of November, when I was up here freezing, 3 layers on, and my little oil burner on, which I never ever use, my little oil electric heater, just to keep just to keep this room warm when I was working up here and talking to you guys in the live chat. So it was like, I think it was, I don't know, it was like -6 or something like that, but it was like that solidly. We had no wind, so there was nothing getting dragged up the flue on the fire chimney to get the fire up to a decent temperature to warm us up, and it was like that for a good part of a fortnight. And onto high and low, couldn't turn on the heat, even for emergency, couldn't override the boiler on the central heating system, so it was literally freezing downstairs in the entire house. It was so cold, and we've never been able to turn the central heating on since. So for a bag of coal for us, get to a long story short, Joe, a bag of coal for us is an absolute lifesaver, especially for me and my fibromyalgia. So thank you very much to those that have actually placed an order this week, because you've allowed me to buy a bag of coal, which is not flaming cheap. It used to be 17 quid for a 50 kilo bag. It's now £28.50, and that's gone up just in the last, to that amount of money. Well, actually, it's just come down. It was £30.50. It's just gone down to £28.50 for the first time in a year. But in the last 3 years, it's crept up from 17, 18 quid up to nearly £30, which is ridiculous. And what makes you laugh is it doesn't even come from our country. It gets imported over from Argentina for our coal, and it's smokeless. So anyway, the trials and tribulations of living in an old house and stopping the damp from coming in. We all end up with hypothermia, chest infections from black mould. We won't now for definite anyway. Just keeps you, it heats up the house having a coal fire, you see. Heats up the bricks. Central heating doesn't do anything. All it does is warms you up for an hour until you turn it off, and then it's back to being cold again. So so I'm going to grab this book that I was on about. I'm not even halfway through this wheel yet. I've put it on my jumbo bobbin this time, and not my electric wheel, because I'm not going to push that little so and so any further after last week doing my video and I end up with 150 grams of yarn on a bobbin that's only supposed to take 100 grams. So what have you been up to, Anne? Oh dear. Has that parcel arrived yet? You'll have to let me know. Right, this book here is probably back to front for you, but it's called You're Sat Spinning Like Me. Cool. LOPAPEYSA. Okay, on the back of it, in Iceland, there is a piece of knitwear that everybody has bought, but no one has bought. The LOPAPEYSA, or Lopi for short, is a sweaters made from unspun Icelandic wool and is a treasured piece of the Iceland's culture, knitted by hand and gifted with love. In this guide, Joan of Dark and Kyle Cassidy take you on an 800-mile adventure to explore the nation's rich knitting traditions and show you how to make your own Lopi-style knit. What parcel? Anne. Sunday chat. Do you remember? It was being posted out on Monday to you. I don't want to say anything because that's between you and me, but I'm just asking, has it arrived yet? By interviewing local experts to trace the history of patterns and along the way meet rock stars, professors and designers who share their knitting related stories and reveal some of the country's hidden gems. From isolated waterfalls to erupting volcanoes, the book is full of stunning photographs at every turn. The journey inspired 12 beautiful Lopi-style knitting patterns, all presented here with photographs, charts and detailed instructions. Work your way through the projects from traditional sweater to gloves, hats and a cosy jumper dress, stylish headbands, all while finding out why the LOPAPEYSA is so special and so individual to Iceland. So yeah, so it's a knitter's guide to Iceland with patterns, techniques and travel tips. I mean, what more can you want? It's such a brilliant idea and I don't know why it's never been done before. So, I will just see if I can find how they explain Lopi. So it goes into like the tradition and the history of Iceland and their wool and how the Vikings brought over this breed of sheep over. So it goes on to right, so sheep were introduced in Iceland by the Vikings during the Middle Ages, and because Iceland is an island, the sheep have developed a unique breed unknown anywhere else in the world. These sheep have a double coated fleece that both insulates and keeps them dry. There is a long, coarse, wiry outer fibre called the tog, which is a water repellent properties, and a warm insulating inner coat called the pell. When the two coats are used together, they make Lopi, and together they give Icelandic wool the unique characteristics that make it ideal in cold and wet weather and allow it to be knitted unspun, which makes me baffled as how they do it. Typically used to represent Icelandic wool in its totality, the word Lopi actually means roving in Icelandic. Roving is a band of loosely connected fibres ready to be made into yarn on a spinning wheel. Don't feel bad, most Icelanders don't know this either. In 1923, a woman named Elin Guttormsdóttir Snillholm wrote in the magazine Hillen that she was able to successfully use Lopi in sock knitting machine to make a scarf. The chief value of knitting unspun fibres was speed. If you could skip the spinning process, you could get products to market more quickly. In her 1985 book, Women's Work in Iceland for 1,100 Years, Anna Sigurðardóttir writes that that while Snillholm was the first to publish about knitting with Lopi, she wasn't the first to actually do it. And two women from Merielsa, they managed to spin unspun wool by hand during the Great Frost of 1917 to 18. Where the weather caught them unprepared for sudden need for mittens and scarves. They kept their discovery a secret though embarrassed by their unpreparedness. The mid-20th century, when the process was developed, was allowed the tog to be separated, and the soft pell was, for a while, sold alone as a less expensive alternative to merino. Today, the vast majority of Icelandic wool is sold unseparated. Much of the history of LOPAPEYSA is in the history of Iceland and the world, and coming to love the pragmatism of the Lopi as it is rugged and functional. The wool was a boon to the Vikings, allowing them to move into a secondary product revolution, transitioning from wearing primary animal products, e.g. furs, and secondary products like wool. The wool was good, but the sheep were a menace and proceeded to eat everything green on the island, destroying all the native trees, denuding the landscape and causing devastation and soil erosion, which is still a problem to this day. Icelandic sheep come in 17 different natural colours, and quality that helps to keep them popular with knitters. They were popular with Vikings for other reasons, chief among them being that it was too cold to plant vegetables. You could occasionally eat one of your sheep. And according to the Department of Animal Sciences at Ohio State University, where they study Icelandic sheep, while they have great wool, they're primarily raised for meat, and only 20% of a farmer's money comes from their fleece. So when you get to a wool store in Iceland, you'll find Lopi, either unspun or lightly spun, in a variety of weights. So for me, I'm thinking that means it'll be a wool that's the density of maybe a DK weight with very little spin in it, but enough to hold it together till you can get it down into your water, like you do with singles when you do a hot cold soak. So you get a bowl of really hot cold water, a bowl of really warm water, right, or hot water, to create a felt-in reaction, right, to stun it. And then you get that wool, and then you throw it into a really cold water bath, and that helps to create the felting process and makes it all stick together and tangle, so it becomes rigid enough that it won't fall apart when you're working with it. Otherwise, what would you be doing with it to be able to, pardon me, coughing, you would be, if they were doing it in a process that they weren't actually spinning it, they would have to be drafting it and giving it a gentle twist as they're working with it, because even when they're knitting with it, they're going to be creating a twist in that yarn as well, aren't they? So it's really quite a unique way. So I'm really quite intrigued, and I've been wanting to do it for a while. So I'm going to have to next year, as a pet project, knitting project, I do want to knit a jumper from City Spin It for myself. But I need to get my shawl done. But I think for next year I might do it as a pet project, and figure out the technique for creating Lopi wool, even if I just do it straight from the roving and knit with it straight there and do a couple of samples and see what it's like. Otherwise, you know, when you're starting off on a Turkish spindle or on a spindle that doesn't have a hook, and you have to draft and twist the fibres a little bit, so you've got a bit of fibre. Perhaps they used a dit. Well, yeah, they might have used that. And it says that there's different types. You've got there's different categories. Like we have, like 4-ply DK, lace weight, that whatever. They do actually have a weight scale and how it's produced. So they've got one that's called Pultuli Lopi, which is completely unspun wool that comes in plates. And people often take outside end and the centre end and knit with these together. And it's the most authentic way to knit your wool, but it's not convenient. So that is really, in essence, a roving noodle. So have you ever gone onto World of Wool and you've ordered in like a Botany Bay bag? Sometimes you'll get what's come out the back end of the mill. I've had it a couple of times, and it's like a noodle roving that's come off from the processing. So it's like a lap waist, but it's really, really quite thin, and there's not much spin to it. That is in essence a roving, but it's got the very subtlest hint of it having a twist in it, but not much, not been done on purpose. Then you've got the Einband, which is a single fine spun thread for lace knitting, made only from the pell, which is the undercoat, the soft undercoat, which is commonly knitted held next to a strand of the Pulitolopi. So they use both of those. And you've got the Letolopi, which is made of two strands of the Pultolopi, so the roving stuff. You've got alpha phos, which is a worsted weight equivalent to 3 strands of the pulty lopi. You've got the yulka lopi, which is a bulky yarn, formerly called the bulky lopi, not kidding. And that's twice as thick as alpha phos and used for chunky sweaters, mittens, hats and blankets. Or you've got the house band, which is the worsted weight that's reinforced with a nylon to make it more resilient. So apparently you can buy these in their wool shops, and they must go through some sort of process where it's got a semi-felted in it. I really need to figure out how they do it. But when you look at the wools, I'll see if I can find the one with the shop. I'm sure there was a picture of a shop. Let me see if I can find it. But you get the balls of wool. I mean, hold on a minute. These are made from that type of wool. So these are the knitting patterns that are actually inside this book. And it's quite intriguing to be able to try and figure out how the heck do they knit this stuff without having to go through some sort of process of having, like, actually not spinning it, but for it to stay stable. And the only way I can think of it is got to have been actually spun, or not spun, but hand twisted as you work with it. I mean, it goes into more detail and it goes around the different towns and the different designs that they've picked up, and they've gone to old folks' homes as well and asked the old ladies about information on it as well. Mentions about steeking in here, which is a traditional way that they used to do things. It's got a lot of history in here. The above pictures inspired by Ardor to knit her first Lopi sweater. So it was about a designer back in the 50s and 60s. It's quite interesting because she is slightly ripped off. So you've got that there. It's from an old article. And you've got that there. Traditional knitting. And for a period of time, after like the hard frost that they had in 1917-18, there was a period of time during the wars that people started to forget about this traditional way of knitting, because obviously they were getting maybe more imports coming in. And she was in a magazine article in '98 called the VCAN, and she was interviewed where she claims that she claims to have created the first LOPAPEYSA. But then obviously we know about that one with the old ladies. So it's obviously something that they've been doing for a long, long time. But this lady thought that it was a tradition that had been lost because maybe she never saw it while she was growing up. But yeah, so it goes on about the history of where it comes from and the yarn. It says, let's talk about the yarn you'll be using. Of course, we're only using authentic Icelandic wool for this book, but the substitute wool for this project is going to be steeked. Otherwise, ensure that your gauge is correct. Icelandic sheep grows too, so soft inner insulating fibre. Well, we know that. There are conditioners made for wool that you can wash your sweater in, often fibres that can simply wear over the layers. Itex is the main manufacturer of yarn in Iceland, and the yarn is everywhere. Seriously, we went to a store and they were selling the yarn in guitar shops. But it does look like a single strand of yarn that has ever such gentle twist in it. So there's another one of the patterns in there. It's supposed to be penguins. So yeah, it's a really interesting book. Can't remember how much I paid for it. The patterns are pretty well written out. Pretty basic, nothing too hard working to look through. I can't remember how much I paid for this book. It wouldn't have been, I think it might have been about $24.99. Phil got me it for Christmas. It's got men's and women's knitting patterns in it. That's one with a zip through the middle. And I like those type of patterns. They're the type of patterns that my mum used to knit for me when I was a kid, where you had the pattern on the cowl and then down on the rib band. And I find that makes for a more interesting knit. You don't mind knitting on a plain wool for a little while, but eventually you need something to wake yourself back up out of it again. So there you go. So, oh, there's another one with penguins on. But it's got a really quite a wide neck on it, which is ideal for layering underneath. Especially if you live in a part of the country like I do, where when it gets cold, it gets flipping cold. And with those north winds coming off the sea, it's really bitter. Got hooded jumpers in here as well, hats and gloves, and a cape in there. And then this one, I always tempted to do it for myself, obviously not with the off the shoulders bit, but that's a knitted jumper dress. So that's quite nice. So yeah, there we go. So that's my love it in my book collection. I got from my Christmas last year from Phil. And it's by, you can get it from bloomsbury.com. It's on the Herbert Press, and it is LOPAPEYSA, Joan of Dark and Toni Carr by Herbert Press, if you're interested. I did put the information in my video last week after I was like, Joe, you forgot to tell us about that book. I'm like, you know, as soon as I finished that video, I totally forgot about that book. So yeah, that's the one I was talking about the other week. Really is. It's a really nice book to have in your collection. I quite like it anyway. But then, that's me. I like anything to do with Scandinavian countries and the Vikings and Danes and traditional knitwear patterns and stuff like that. That's more up my street than asking me to do a lace knit. I'll be like, no, you're all right. Give me pattern work any day of the week, thank you very much. I'd rather have that than sit and do lace work. I've probably got an ancestor from the north of Scotland turn over a grave and say, what do you mean you don't like lace work? No, give me pattern work, thank you very much. I understand the charts on those. So yeah, that's about it for me. Has anybody got any questions, or is there anything you want me to get out and talk about? Because I've been on here just over half an hour now, so I will start thinking about popping off. I have got some bits and pieces to do, and I've got some I've still ran out of tape yesterday, so I couldn't get the last of my Christmas Advents all packed up properly with thick parcel tape, so I had to pop out and get some today. And then I want to sit in my room in peace and quiet. What am I spinning? Remember the bat prep that I did a couple of weeks ago on, was it on Instagram Live? I did that chat when I was showing how to do the elbow joints. No, it wasn't. It was the bat from a couple of weeks ago on a video showing how to do the elbow joint before I did that brown wool last week. Well, these are the two bobbins out of it. So it's, which one was it now off the website? I can't remember, but it's another tweedy one. So it's got tweedy viscose in it. So it's not got a lot of texture in there. And it's got a little bit of Angelina in it. And it had some rose fibre and tussar silk in there. So that's what I'm spinning up at the moment. So I can get it on the shop next week. I've put the Harris Tweedy one on there. That's on the website. 150 grams worsted to Aran weight with, I think it was 134 yards. So I stuck it on the website. So that's on there. So I thought, well, I might as well I keep meaning to get this spun up. I thought, well, while I'm doing this, and I haven't got much that I've got really to do anyway. I've got bits and pieces, but I want to make. I've been out today down at the craft shop down in town, go and support a local supply business, because I was in there a couple of weeks ago, and I'm getting our Kristen, my eldest lad, an Airfix kit that I keep forgetting to post. It's downstairs on the dining table. He gets bored of living on his own in the evenings. He needs something to do, so I found him an Airfix, an old Red Arrows aeroplane. So yeah, so I went in there today because I want to do some Christmas baubles from out of patchwork quilts, so a quilted, the old Victorian quilted bauble. If I remember on Saturday, I might do some while I'm sat there on my video. I might even do it as one of my Christmas Advent videos throughout December. I'm not sure what I'm doing about that. Yeah, I might do Vlogmas, but if I do it, I'll probably do it as a live every lunchtime, which I think is probably better. Hiya, Julian. So yeah, so Christmas Advents. Oh, just remembered. No, the parcel hasn't arrived yet, but we'll let you know when it arrives. You'll send me a picture. Yeah, send me a picture when it's on the wall. I didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to say anything, but I thought, well, it popped on my head and my mouth opened up, and that was it. It wasn't. There was no stopping it once that come out my mouth. I managed to retain it. Oh dear. So what have I got planned? I've got planned. Well, now that my room's all tidied up, I've got some of my warp done for my next weave project that I intend to do over Christmas month. I just need to get some more of the warp measured up and decide what pattern I'm going with. No, I won't. Don't you worry about it. I won't. That's when my brain told me mouth to shut up. Do you know, Anne, you've got me all flustered. Honestly. Oh yeah, so I want to get I want to do some weaving over December, because I always try and take 2 weeks back from listing anything new anyway. The shop's always open all year round, so I mean I'm always posting stuff out, but I just won't list anything on the week up to Christmas and the week after Christmas. New stock will be listed in the new year, you see, so I'll try and take at least 2 weeks off from not actually doing background stuff. Is probably the best way, like getting the dye pots out really, and having a good tidy up and actually having some time to myself for a little bit, apart from sorting out orders. But I can't see December being that busy, people. Even time's not that busy, considering a lot of people in the budget shops, that's for sure, this year. Though we've got a new TK Maxx opened up, so I might have to pop over there in December if we've got any wages, and then get the kids the Christmas presents, because they're not getting any money this year. They'll all get a Lynx bath set. Yeah, from Superdrug. That's all they're getting this year, the ungrateful bunch of so-and-sos. Yeah, so there's not much going on. I'm trying to get ahead of myself. I've got dye pots to go out tomorrow. I've got batty clubs to get dyed up for, so I can get them blended up next week and get them out. There will be I'll say it while I'm here. If anyone wants a batty club for December, I will be they're on the website anyway for you to order a month's subscription. But if you want one, the closing date for that will be the 5th of December, so I can get them posted out in time for the Christmas rush. I always do them early for Christmas anyway, so it's not like it's something new. The Raw Mail as well have released their new post dates for Christmas. Then the last date for posting in the UK is the 17th and 18th of December. And the last day for posting to New Zealand and Australia is the 6th of December. And for America and Canada and Europe, they're saying guaranteed delivery for, I think they're saying the 8th of December. So I will probably be advising for the 5th for all of them, just on the off chance. So yeah, but I'll put that on my website if I can get back into my black tab on the top of the page. Also, while I'm here, if you go on the website, those that haven't subscribed, go on unsubscribe, otherwise you're missing out on your newsletters. Because I'm not sending out as many as what I usually do. Usually I'm sending out like 300, and I've sent out 22. Go on to the website and subscribe. Some people with certain types of phones are finding it hard when they're going on. I don't know what's going on, and I don't know why it's doing it, but if you go onto your laptop or a tablet and try to order something, your postage will come up properly. Some people on their mobile phones are seeing that they're coming up with overseas orders, postage orders, and you shouldn't be. UK orders is only set at a certain price, well, set flat standard price, so you shouldn't be getting charged that. There's nothing I can do about it. It's got something to do with the mobile phones. I am going to get onto them sometime today, because I need to ask them a couple of questions and find out if there's anything that I've done wrong. But from the questions that I've looked at the FAQs, it's nothing to do with me and the website. It's all set up right. It's something to do with the way the phones are seeing the information. So if you can't order anything on your phone, just use your tablet or your laptop to place an order. If it's coming up with the incorrect postage price and saying that you're overseas, because it's not me. I think that's all that coming in my head. Can't think of anything else. I will be making up a couple more of these Turkish spindle niddy noddy bag sets with a bat. I will hopefully find some time this week to get some done. I've got my 4 days of Advents to get sorted out, and I need to make a bag for one of those who's a customer who's already had the large Advent. So I need to make her a different bag to go in hers with a couple of different gifts. So I've got those to get made up and start getting and post them out next week, because those are off the website now. They're not on. What else I need to do? I want to get some dye pots out for next week. Has anyone got any colours that they're thinking of so I can blend them up for bats for next week? Do you fancy me doing some fluorescent bats? I don't think I've got any in. I'm trying to build my stock up at the moment, and I've got quite a few greeny colours. I've got some autumnal stuff on there. I've got different shades of blues and mixes of blues with corals and stuff like that. I've got purples and lilacs, and I've got pastels. So I think maybe I could do with doing some neon colours and neon clashes. I think I might be doing for next week. But if anybody's got any that they want me to, colourways that they may be thinking of that they'd like to have in their stash, or if I fell in, let me know. I'm wondering whether to do any snow globy type ones, but usually I do them as custom orders. But yeah, so that's it. Can't think of anything else, peeps. So yeah, look out this Thursday. You love the neon bats. Well, I'll have to do some so you can put an order in, Mary. It's your fault. I've got to make you a different type of bag compared to your Christmas Advent, love. So yeah, so I think I'll do neons then. I'll get them sorted out. Yeah, that's what I think I'll do for next week, neons. And I've just got 2 rovings to dye up for the 4 days of Advents, and then I can get them blended up and then posted out for the end of the month. Yes, Mary. Yes, I need to get yours posted out by the end of the month, so it'll get there in time. Yeah, I can't think of anything else, peeps. That's me done. So I think I'm going to go and pop off, finish off spinning off the last of this yarn so I can get it photographed and on the website. I've got one more fairy bag to go on. I've been waiting for this niddy noddy to print off so I can get the pink fairy bag and bat. And I'll show you what it is that I've added to the website if you want. You guys haven't seen, some people don't go over to my Instagram to see what's been listed on the website. But it's the best place to go and find me. Or on my Facebook. But hold on a second. Oh. So, let me get a sip of my coffee before it gets too cold and then I get upset. Right. So, got these new tags on my bags. Laser cut out from my neighbour. That's why he's trying to ring me. Because, Anne, I asked him about wooden handles for bags. So he said last night he was going to have a go at it, and that's why he's trying to phone me and text me and knock at the door, wondering why I'm not answering him. So he might have been able to do the wooden handles for bags. Right, so in these bags you get one handmade bag, and I measured it the other day. It is around about 8 centimetres boxed in at the bottom, and then it narrows up to the top. Look, and they generally have their own little marker on the end, so you've got something to pull, especially if you've got stiff fingers with a bit of rheumatoid. I think sometimes you grab that, but it's a nice chunky zip on it. This one's got a rose gold zip, and it comes with a 1 yard 3 printed pla, not plastic, pla, which is a potato or cornstarch based cellulose filament. It's always your fault. Yeah, it is always your fault. So it's a recycled byproduct from the starchy potato industry, and it's put together with a cellulose process. It is recyclable. You can put it in your plastic recycle bin. Okay? So there you go. They won't last forever. You do not want to put them anywhere near any heat, especially if you're setting your yarn. If you're setting a skein of yarn, don't put it near your kettle and steam set it, because it will melt. It will bend and warp, okay? So keep it off the windowsills and keep it away from the heat. And with that, I'll put that to one side. It's got a coordinating Turkish spindle that is taking me the best part of 6 months to get this sorted out and get it to the size that I want it. These are 30 gram weights. I do have a dinky version. Where is it? That little blue one I had yesterday. I do have a dinky version, and I will be putting one of the 30 grams and the 15 gram ones as a little set together. So when you get it, you push them through like you would do a Turkish spindle, and it spins lovely. You get a really nice thin yarn. So you push it through, and then you put your hand over the top. Because it is a fragile fibre, yeah, it is a fibre. You don't want to yank it because it will break, even though there's like supports on the inside. So what I do in mine is I push it down a bit until it won't go any further. It usually makes a little bit of a click noise, and it won't go anymore. There is actually a little notch that's printed into the top of it, okay, and then you spin away. I am going to do a little video that will pop up on my channel of how to spin with these and how to wind them up as well. Okay, so that is coming. I just haven't had a chance this week. We slept in today, you see, and then I had to pop out. I had to pop out and go and get my polystyrene bowls to do my quilted baubles. Then also is all the bats that are going in these bags are from the website. I haven't just thrown together willy-nilly out of my scraps of fibres and come up with a cheap version of a bat. These bats are actually from the website. So this one is Home and Hearth, and I've tried to do them so they're all like a complementary set. So the bag's red, there's red in the bat, and then you've got these gold, and then from the same filament, see, it's the same gold and green on this one, changing Turkish spindle. So I wanted it to be coordinated because I'm a little bit of a geek that way. I'm a bit anally retentive when it comes to being colour coordinated. Honestly, my mum always said to me, make sure your underwear's matching, because if you get knocked over by a bus, and she told me that at such a young age that I've always made a point of making sure that my underwear is always matching. My socks, I don't mind being odd socks. I've got odd socks on today. Look, there. I always wear odd socks. You never find a pair of socks in this house. As I said the other day, for every pair of sock that goes missing, there's always a Tupperware lid that turns up that you can't find the bottom to. There's nothing been said truer, is there? So the Home and Hearth bat is about 130 grams, probably more over. It'll be over, not under. Okay, and it's rich jewel tones with a dusky blues, plum, charcoal with a rusty orange, hand-dyed merino bamboo blend with a merino bamboo noil, merino Corridale bamboo merino blend, and a Tweedy Viscose merino blend, and 100% recycled denim waste. So that's what's in there. So that that would be, if I was selling it on the website, that would be £17.50. My niddy noddies, my 1 yard niddy noddies are £9 each. Okay. My Turkish spindles are going on the website. These ones on their own for £8.50. Then you've got a bag that I'm selling for. Now this is official William Morris design fabric. Okay, so those, if they were going on the shop on their own, they would be getting sold for about £16. So I'm selling this full set for $39.85 on the website. So if that's not a bargain for Christmas, then I don't know what is. And if I haven't sold at least 12 of these between now and December, then I'm obviously not doing something right. So I mean, with that, you're talking what? 9, 17.50, 34, and a bag. You're saving yourself about 8-9 quid than buying it individually. And if it's a Christmas present, let me know, and I will make sure it's wrapped up, only the way that Joe does. And when Joe does Christmas wrapping, it's everything, and it's double wrapped. Christmas wrapping paper with a cellophane over the top, ribbons and bows. Okay, So if you want it as a Christmas present, I can wrap them up. If you want it to go to somebody already in the UK as a Christmas present, surprise secret squirrel, let me know, and I just let me know the address, and I will send it to them like that with a gift card or the gift card written on it for you. So there, I can accommodate. So looking forward to yours. Yeah, I've just done one for Elizabeth. She paid for it on her dad's credit card. Name a car for an edit, please. Name a car for an edit, please. I have no idea what you're on about. Name a car for an edit. Yep, no problem. Sorry, Carly, can't entertain you on that one. So yeah, so that's a bargain. You're getting all of that in there, and these will definitely be staying on the website, and I will be adding more all year round, all the time, until as soon as one goes, I'll replace it with another one. They're brilliant little gifts, and you can, for yourself and for anybody else. And it's a nice little travel piece as well, just a weekend job. Drop spindle, go get yourself through 130 gram bat. That's weekend on a Turkish spindle, isn't it? So yeah, there we go. And my knitting, one last show and tell. Finally, I'm over half. I'm about 3/4 of the way through on my yarn. This is a wool that I got at the Cumbria Wool Show when I was there with Bridie. We drove down to well, me and Phil met Bridie and her husband there. So on back to front. So it's a top-down knit, but then you cast on the border from a knit along the edging. So there's a couple of mistakes in it, but come on, I'm a novice. So you can see where it fans through. So you knit from this bit down to there, and then you add your border on it. So I've only got left that much to do now. It's not a lot. It isn't a lot, not really, not in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, because I'm well over halfway past that borderline now. So it was called Celtic Myths. It's a cable knit. There you go, you can see that there in the light. It's a cable knit pattern by Siddy's Spin It. I love the way that she knits her patterns. I've become a little bit of a groupie, and I have a jumper that I want to knit from hers, and I have got Tussey Silk and Polworth wool over there. Thank you, Anne. So that was all hand dyed by me, and it's a llama wool. Yeah, it is llama and Blueface Leicester, I think it is, that it's knitted with. So that's my own. I have got some Polworth and Tussey Silk yarn that I've yet to dye. And I'm still thinking, now that I know that's done, I can now think about how I'm going to dye this wool and what colour I want to go. Because, I mean, yeah, I need to think. There's two patterns that I've got. One is a lace, a jumper, and it's got lacy knit down the side of it. But it's one of those loose fitting jumpers I thought would be really nice for the summer. So I don't know what colour to go. I'm really quite stumped. Do I stick with a natural and go like oatmeal-y colours and make it look like it's a tweedy effect, but it's not like speckling, and leave it with a natural cream background? I haven't made up my mind. I don't know what to do. So I might have to go trolling Instagram and looking at other people's yarn accounts and get an idea of what I want to do. Sometimes it's really hard trying to imagine what the wool's going to look like when you're finished with it. But I don't know. I don't know what to do. I have got a dye downstairs. It's called Vanilla Cream, but it's got a very soft, subtle, very, very proper yellow butter colour. You know, that soft yellow. It's got that colour to it, so I might do that. But then, do I really want yellow? I don't know. I haven't got an idea. I have got no idea. It's really, really pretty yarn as well. I have got loads of it. Yeah. This one, it's got a bit of a sheen on there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. So I've got more than enough. I bought an extra 2 just to make sure that I had enough to do a jumper. But yeah, it's really, really silky. And I thought that would be really nice for a jumper that I can wear all year round, like in the summer months. That's why I thought this jumper that I saw, I will have to find the pattern and show you on Saturday and see what you guys all think of it on my Instagram. So this has got like a peachy undertone to it, but this has got a lovely shine to it. And I thought it would be a really, really lovely jumper with this one with the lace weight, the lace, just a plain knit, and the only pattern in it comes all the way down here. And I've never knitted lace before, so I thought, well, it's just on the arm, it's just a smidge of lace work, and I have plenty of you that I can message to say I haven't got an idea what I'm doing. And I actually bought the pattern twice and sent Hilly the same jumper pattern. So if she starts it before me, and then that way I can badger her to tell me what to do. Method in my madness. So yeah, I sent Hilly the pattern in her Christmas advent when I sent it last month, or a couple of weeks ago. It says, I've put 2 patterns in there for you as well. And I says, but I've bought myself the exact same ones. So I can message you if I get stuck. I am naughty. So yeah, but it just looks like it's a square body. I think it might be slightly bat-winged underneath, but we'll see. Right, 3 times I said I'm going. I'm definitely going now. It's 56 minutes and 22 seconds. So I'm definitely off. Enjoy the rest of your week. There's some bad weather coming over the next couple of days. We've got up to 40 miles an hour and threatening thunder and lightning, which we never get. We never get it. But I'll see you on Saturday over on my Instagram, and I will be dyeing up neons for next week. And I've still got the Radnor to get posted up on website as well. So that's been done in a Kingfisher colourway, which is really, really pretty. But I'll put that up on the website next week. It took me 2 days to get it dried in front of the fire. There's no energy going up the flue. Anyway, take care of yourselves, be good, stay out of trouble. If you can't stay out of trouble, deny all plausibility. Deny. Take care. See you Saturday if you're not, or your family's coming. Well, you enjoy the family, and no doubt Anne will have her family and the bacon butties, because she always has to go and do the family. The horde turns up for bacon butties. Take care of yourselves and speak to you soon. Not next Wednesday, the Wednesday after. Once a fortnight for live chat. Next week is a video. I think I might be carding again, but we'll see. Take care. Bye.